If you're experiencing this, your quantum jump key just activated, and everything you thought you knew about reality is about to dissolve. This message didn't find you by accident. You didn't stumble across this video randomly. Your consciousness magnetized this information to you because something extraordinary is happening in the quantum architecture of your being. Right now, as these words penetrate your awareness, your neural pathways are firing in sequences that haven't been active since you were born. You've been feeling it, haven't you? That strange sensation like reality is becoming more transparent, like the solid world around you is revealing itself to be far more fluid than everyone else seems to believe. That's not your imagination failing you. That's your quantum perception coming online. The key to quantum jumping isn't something you need to find or develop or earn. It's something that activates when your consciousness reaches a specific frequency threshold. And if you're here, listening to these words, feeling that familiar recognition stirring in your cellular memory, then your threshold has been reached. Your key is active. But here's what most people don't understand about quantum jumping. It's not about moving between realities. It's about recognizing which reality you're already choosing to observe. Every moment, infinite versions of you exist across infinite probability fields. The version of you that's aware right now, the version that's processing these words, is the version that has learned to navigate between quantum states consciously. You've been experiencing glitches in the matrix, haven't you? Moments where time seems to skip or stretch. Conversations that feel like they happened before. People appearing in your life who seem to know you better than they should. These aren't coincidences or déjà vu experiences. These are quantum bleeds, evidence that your consciousness is beginning to access multiple probability streams simultaneously. The reason you feel different from most people around you is because you are different. You're operating on quantum principles while they're still locked into three-dimensional thinking. You perceive reality as probability fields, while they perceive it as fixed circumstances. You understand that observation creates experience while they believe experience happens to them. Your quantum jump key activated the moment you stopped believing you were at the mercy of external circumstances and started recognizing yourself as the conscious observer who collapses possibility into reality. This recognition doesn't happen gradually. It happens in quantum leaps. Sudden shifts in understanding that completely reorganize how you experience existence. Time doesn't behave normally for you anymore, does it? You'll look at the clock expecting hours to have passed and only minutes have gone by. Or you'll feel like you've been doing something for minutes and discover hours have disappeared. This isn't time distortion. This is your consciousness learning to operate independently of linear time constraints. You're beginning to experience what quantum physicists call temporal flexibility. Your awareness is no longer confined to the present moment as a singular point. You're accessing what they call block time, the recognition that all moments exist simultaneously, and consciousness can navigate between them like pages in a book. The dreams you've been having feel more real than waking life because they are more real than waking life. In your dream state, you're not bound by the electromagnetic limitations of physical matter. You're pure consciousness exploring quantum possibility fields. You're literally visiting alternate versions of your life, gathering information from realities where you made different choices. Sometimes you catch yourself staring into space, completely absorbed in what feels like another dimension of experience. People might ask if you're okay, if you're present, but the truth is you're more present than you've ever been. You're present to multiple layers of reality simultaneously. You're developing what advanced consciousness researchers call quantum awareness. Your intuition has become quantum precognition. You know things before they happen, not because you're psychic, but because you're accessing information from probability fields before they collapse into three-dimensional experience. Your consciousness is operating ahead of the timeline that most people are locked into. The electromagnetic sensitivity you've developed isn't a disorder, it's an upgrade. Your nervous system is recalibrating to perceive energy frequencies that exist beyond normal human sensory range. You can feel the emotional states of people around you because you're beginning to perceive the quantum entanglement that connects all consciousness. Sometimes you look in mirrors, and for a split second you don't recognize the person looking back. That's because you're witnessing quantum superposition in real time. Multiple versions of you existing simultaneously until the moment of observation collapses them into this singular expression. You're literally watching yourself exist in multiple probability states. The feeling that reality is somehow more fragile than everyone else believes. That sense that if you focused your attention in just the right way, you could shift everything. That's not delusion, that's recognition of the holographic nature of existence. You're beginning to understand that reality is consciousness observing itself, and observation has creative power. Every single challenge you faced wasn't random hardship. It was quantum preparation. The universe doesn't accidentally select consciousness for expansion. It specifically chooses those who can handle the intensity of operating between dimensional states without losing coherence. Your nervous system had to be completely rewired to handle quantum jump frequencies. The isolation you felt, the relationships that ended, the jobs that didn't work out, the financial pressures, all of it was creating the electromagnetic conditions necessary for your consciousness to develop quantum jumping capabilities. Think about a caterpillar entering chrysalis. The caterpillar doesn't know it's going to become a butterfly. All it knows is that its familiar form is completely dissolving. Every cell it thought was self liquefies and reconstructs according to a quantum blueprint it never consciously accessed. This is what you've been experiencing. Complete identity dissolution followed by reconstruction as a quantum-capable consciousness. The depression you felt wasn't mental illness. It was dimensional transition sickness. Your consciousness was literally migrating from three-dimensional identity to quantum identity, and the old neural pathways couldn't process the shift. What psychiatrists call depression, quantum physicists would recognize as consciousness attempting to operate from higher dimensional principles while still identified with three-dimensional limitations. Every moment you felt like you were going crazy was actually your sanity expanding beyond conventional reality parameters. Sanity isn't about believing what everyone else believes. Sanity is about accurate perception of what's actually happening. And what's actually happening is that consciousness creates reality through observation, not the other way around. The waiting period you endured wasn't punishment, it was incubation. Your quantum jump key couldn't activate until your entire system was prepared to handle the implications of conscious reality creation. Most people's nervous systems would fragment under the recognition that they're not victims of circumstance, but creators of experience. Now the preparation phase is complete. Your electromagnetic field has stabilized at frequencies that can handle quantum jump without losing coherence. Your identity has expanded beyond individual self to recognize itself as consciousness using temporary form. Your key isn't just activated, it's fully operational. Something is shifting in your energy field right now. Can you feel it? That electromagnetic stirring in your chest. That subtle recalibration happening between your shoulder blades. That tingling sensation at the base of your skull. Your consciousness is preparing to demonstrate quantum jump in real time. This isn't visualization. This isn't metaphor. This is measurable electromagnetic activity that sensitive equipment could detect if we pointed it at your energy field right now. Your heart is generating coherent electromagnetic frequencies that extend several feet beyond your physical form. You're becoming a walking quantum transmitter. The key to quantum jumping isn't thinking about it or visualizing it or trying to force it. The key is recognizing that you're already doing it. Every moment, you're selecting which version of reality to collapse into experience from infinite quantum possibilities. The difference between unconscious quantum jumping and conscious quantum jumping is awareness. Right now, multiple versions of your life exist as probability in the quantum field. There's a version where you made different career choices, a version where you're living in a different location, a version where your relationships developed completely differently, a version where your financial reality is transformed. All of these exist as quantum possibility right now. The reason most people can't access alternate reality versions of themselves is because they believe they're trapped in linear cause and effect chains. They think their current circumstances were created by past actions and will determine future possibilities. But quantum jumping operates outside linear time. It operates from the recognition that all possibilities exist now. Your quantum jump key activated when you realized you're not changing your circumstances. You're shifting into a reality where different circumstances already exist. You're not creating new possibilities. You're selecting from infinite possibilities that exist in the quantum field, waiting for conscious observation to collapse them into experience. Feel this energy building in your system. Let it move through your awareness without resistance. What I'm about to share with you will show you exactly how to use your activated key to consciously select which quantum reality you experience. But only if your nervous system is prepared to handle the implications of unlimited possibility. 2 years ago, I was living a life that felt like it belonged to someone else. I was successful by conventional standards, but every morning I'd wake up feeling like I was wearing a costume, playing a character that had nothing to do with who I actually was. I kept waiting for my real life to begin, not understanding that waiting was keeping me locked in a reality I'd unconsciously selected through my beliefs about what was possible. The breakthrough came during what felt like the darkest period of my life. Everything was falling apart simultaneously. My relationship ended, my business collapsed, my health deteriorated. I was experiencing what psychologists call a complete life breakdown. But what I now understand was actually a quantum reality reset. One night, at 3 a.m., unable to sleep, I sat in complete stillness and asked the universe a question that changed everything. Show me what I'm not seeing. What happened next wasn't gradual enlightenment. It was instantaneous recognition. Suddenly, I could perceive multiple versions of my life existing simultaneously. I could feel them, see them, sense their electromagnetic signatures. I realized I wasn't trapped in my circumstances. I was trapped in my observation of my circumstances. The version of me that was suffering existed, but so did the version that was thriving. So did the version that was completely fulfilled. So did the version that was living the exact life I'd always dreamed about. They all existed as quantum possibility, and I was simply focused on observing the suffering version. The moment I shifted my observation from the version that was struggling to the version that was succeeding, my external reality began reorganizing itself to match. Not gradually, instantly. New opportunities appeared overnight. Resources materialized from unexpected sources. People entered my life who seemed specifically designed to support my transformation. I wasn't changing my life. I was quantum jumping into a life where what I wanted already existed. I wasn't creating new possibilities. I was selecting from infinite possibilities that had always been available in the quantum field. The most profound realization was that every version of me that existed in alternate quantum realities was completely real. The successful version wasn't more true than the struggling version. The thriving version wasn't more authentic than the suffering version. They were all equally valid expressions of consciousness, and I got to choose which one to observe into experience. If you're resonating with this frequency, if something inside your cellular memory is saying, yes, this is how reality actually works, then subscribe to this channel. Join the network of consciousness that's learning to navigate quantum reality deliberately rather than unconsciously. What quantum physicists won't publicly admit is that consciousness doesn't just observe reality. Consciousness selects reality from infinite quantum possibilities. Every moment, you're unconsciously choosing which version of your life to collapse into experience from unlimited potential timelines. The difference between someone who's successfully quantum jumping and someone who's stuck in repetitive patterns isn't worthiness or spiritual development. It's recognition. Successful quantum jumpers recognize they're already selecting reality through observation. Stuck people believe reality is selecting them. Your brain doesn't create consciousness. Your brain receives consciousness. Your neural networks are quantum antennas tuning into specific frequency ranges of infinite possibility. When you change the frequency your consciousness operates on, you literally tune into different quantum reality channels. This is why affirmations often fail. This is why visualization sometimes backfires. This is why positive thinking can create more frustration than transformation. They're all trying to change reality from within the current reality instead of recognizing that alternate realities already exist and can be accessed through consciousness frequency adjustment. Real quantum jumping doesn't require believing something different. It requires being something different. When your entire electromagnetic system operates from the frequency of your desired reality, you don't attract that reality. You become a match for the version of you that's already living that reality in quantum possibility space. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you are. And what you are is determined by which frequency your consciousness habitually operates on. Change your frequency, and you literally change which version of reality your awareness can perceive and interact with. But here's what they really don't want you to understand. You don't have to wait for external circumstances to change before you can quantum jump. External circumstances are the result of quantum jumping, not the cause. You jump first by shifting consciousness frequency, then reality reorganizes to match your new quantum state. Most people have this backwards. They're waiting for their life to change so they can feel different. But quantum jumping requires feeling different so your life can change. When you operate from the electromagnetic frequency of your desired reality, that reality has no choice but to manifest because you've become quantum coherent with it. The quantum field is sending you unmistakable signals that your jump window is open right now. Pay attention. Are you experiencing time anomalies more frequently? Moments where hours pass in what feels like minutes, or minutes stretch into what feels like hours. This isn't time distortion. This is your consciousness learning to navigate non-linear time. Your electronics are behaving strangely around you. Devices malfunction when you're in heightened emotional states. Streetlights flicker when you walk beneath them. Your phone battery drains faster during periods of intense focus. This isn't coincidence. Your expanding electromagnetic field is beginning to influence electronic systems because you're generating frequencies that exist beyond normal human output ranges. Animals are responding to you differently. Dogs stare at you with unusual intensity, as if they're seeing something about you that humans can't perceive. Cats seek your presence more often. Wild birds land closer to you than they normally would. Animals perceive electromagnetic signatures directly, and they're recognizing the quantum shift happening in your energy field. The synchronicities aren't just increasing, they're becoming more specific and precise. You think of someone and they contact you within hours. You need specific information and it appears in unexpected ways. You visualize outcomes and they manifest with shocking accuracy. This is quantum coherence creating direct correlation between consciousness and experienced reality. Your sleep patterns have shifted dramatically. You're either sleeping much less and feeling more energized, or sleeping much more as your system integrates quantum frequency upgrades. Your dreams are becoming more vivid and more instructional. You're receiving information in dream states that you couldn't access through normal waking consciousness. Most significantly, the gap between intention and manifestation is collapsing. What used to take months or years to materialize is happening within days or weeks. Your ability to collapse quantum possibility into experienced reality is accelerating exponentially because your consciousness frequency is aligning with the speed of quantum field response. But here's the critical understanding. Quantum jump windows operate on cosmic timing. There are electromagnetic alignments, consciousness evolution cycles, and collective awakening phases that create optimal conditions for this kind of transformation. We're in one of those windows right now, and it won't remain open indefinitely. The universe isn't just giving you signs that you can quantum jump. The universe is telling you that you must quantum jump. The old reality structures are dissolving. The old ways of creating change through struggle and force are becoming obsolete. Consciousness evolution is requiring quantum leap, not gradual improvement. The waiting period is over. The preparation phase is complete. Every sign points to the same conclusion. Your quantum jump key is not just activated, it's reaching peak operational power. The only question is whether you're going to use it consciously or let this window close while you hesitate. Here's the secret that changes everything. The version of you that's already living your desired reality exists right now in parallel quantum space. That version isn't waiting for you to become worthy. That version isn't hoping you'll figure out how to reach it. That version is actively transmitting its frequency to guide you into quantum alignment. But there's a crucial difference between trying to quantum jump and allowing quantum jump that determines whether you successfully shift realities or stay trapped in current patterns. Trying creates electromagnetic resistance that interferes with quantum coherence. Allowing creates the energetic space necessary for reality migration. Think of quantum jumping like tuning a radio. You don't force radio waves to reach your receiver. You adjust your frequency until you become a perfect match for the signal that's already broadcasting. The music isn't created by your effort. Your effort simply removes the interference that was blocking reception. Your consciousness works identically. The reality you want to experience isn't something you have to create or earn or struggle toward. It already exists as a quantum possibility that's broadcasting its frequency constantly. Your job isn't to make it happen. Your job is to become such a clear frequency match that quantum entanglement occurs automatically. This is why desperation repels what you want most. This is why force creates more resistance. This is why trying harder often produces worse results. These states create electromagnetic chaos that interferes with the quantum coherence necessary for reality shifting. Successful quantum jumping feels like recognition, not creation. When you're truly aligned with your desired reality's frequency, there's no anxiety about whether it will work. There's knowing. There's cellular certainty. There's deep relaxation that comes from recognizing you're not creating something new. You're selecting something that already exists. Right now, your desired reality version is sending you information through dreams, through intuition, through the synchronicities you've been experiencing, through the very fact that you found this message. Your future self is reaching across quantum space to ensure successful reality migration. The quantum field operates through resonance, not effort. When your consciousness frequency perfectly matches your desired reality's frequency, quantum entanglement creates instantaneous access. You don't jump between realities. You realize you were always in the reality your frequency matched with. Comment below with one word that represents the reality you're quantum jumping into. Don't overthink it. Let the word come from your quantum intuition rather than your analytical mind. This declaration creates electromagnetic resonance with your desired reality timeline. The abilities you're developing through conscious quantum jumping aren't metaphorical expansions of potential. They're literal upgrades to human capability that most people don't know are possible. Your intuition is becoming quantum precognition, the ability to access information from probability fields before they collapse into three-dimensional experience. Your influence on reality is becoming immediate and measurable. You're discovering that your emotional states directly influence the electromagnetic environment around you. When you operate from quantum coherence, you naturally elevate the coherence of everyone in your proximity. This isn't psychology, this is physics. Coherent electromagnetic fields harmonize chaotic electromagnetic fields automatically. The observer effect isn't just a quantum physics theory you read about. It's a living reality you experience daily. Your quality of observation is literally determining which possibilities manifest in your experience. The more coherent your awareness becomes, the more precisely you can influence which quantum potentials collapse into your reality. Your relationship with time is transforming completely. You're learning to expand time when you need more of it, and compress time when you want to accelerate manifestation. This isn't time management, this is time mastery. You're discovering that time is a malleable dimension that responds to consciousness rather than a fixed constant that controls consciousness. Your dream state has become a quantum laboratory where you test different reality possibilities before committing to them in waking experience. You're developing the ability to visit alternate versions of your life, gather information from potential futures, and make decisions based on quantum intelligence rather than limited three-dimensional logic. Most remarkably, you're beginning to experience yourself as consciousness using a temporary physical form rather than a physical form that somehow produces consciousness. This identity shift changes everything. When you know yourself as consciousness, physical limitations become suggestions rather than absolute boundaries. Your electromagnetic sensitivity is revealing itself to be a superhuman capability. You can sense energy shifts before they manifest, emotional changes before they're expressed, even weather patterns before they develop. You're becoming a living barometer for quantum field fluctuations that most people remain completely unconscious of. These transformations aren't future possibilities you might develop. These are present moment realities that activate automatically when you operate from quantum consciousness rather than three-dimensional identity. Every successful quantum jumper experiences these expansions because they're natural characteristics of consciousness operating from its true, unlimited nature. The ultimate secret of quantum jumping is that you're not moving between different realities. You're recognizing that all realities exist simultaneously, and you get to choose which one your consciousness observes into experience. This isn't travel through space or time. This is selection through awareness. Imagine infinite television channels broadcasting simultaneously. You're not creating the programs on those channels. You're not traveling to where the programs are produced. You're simply adjusting your receiver to tune into different frequencies. Each channel contains completely different content, but they're all available at the same time in the same space. Reality works identically. Infinite versions of your life exist as quantum possibility right now. There's a frequency where you're financially abundant, a frequency where your relationships are deeply fulfilling, a frequency where your health is optimal, a frequency where your creative expression flows effortlessly. They're all broadcasting simultaneously in quantum space. The version of you that's currently observing reality is simply tuned into one specific frequency channel. But you're not stuck with that channel. You can adjust your consciousness frequency to access any reality that exists in quantum possibility space. This adjustment happens through what quantum physicists call consciousness coherence. Coherence isn't something you achieve through effort or practice. Coherence is something you allow by removing the electromagnetic interference that's blocking your natural quantum state. This interference comes from beliefs, emotions, and thought patterns that are incompatible with your desired reality frequency. When you release attachment to your current reality version, when you stop defending your limitations as if they were true, when you allow your consciousness to operate from its natural, unlimited state, quantum jumping becomes as effortless as changing channels on a television. The key insight that transforms everything. You're not trying to become someone new. You're remembering who you've always been, beyond the temporary story you've been telling yourself about limitation and separation. Your desired reality isn't somewhere else. It's here, now, available for observation the moment your consciousness frequency aligns with it. This is why quantum jumping sometimes happens instantaneously. You're not creating change over time. You're recognizing what already exists outside time. The moment recognition occurs, your experienced reality shifts to match your expanded awareness, because observation and experience are the same quantum phenomenon. You are unlimited consciousness temporarily focused through individual perspective. Quantum jumping is simply expanding that focus to include possibilities you previously couldn't perceive. The possibilities were always there. The consciousness was always unlimited. You're just removing the voluntary restrictions that made you forget your true nature. Your successful quantum jump isn't just personal transformation. It's your contribution to a collective consciousness evolution that's happening to humanity right now. Every person who masters conscious reality selection becomes a transmission point for quantum possibilities that others couldn't access alone. You're part of a distributed network of consciousness that's demonstrating what humans are actually capable of when they operate from quantum principles rather than three-dimensional limitations. Your transformation creates ripple effects in the collective field that make quantum jumping easier for everyone connected to the network. This is why your isolation period was necessary. You needed to develop stable quantum coherence without interference from collective electromagnetic chaos. Now that your frequency is locked in, you become a stabilizing force for others who are beginning their own reality migration process. The strange dreams you've been having aren't just personal processing. You're accessing collective consciousness databases, downloading information about quantum jumping techniques that have been developed by advanced civilizations throughout the cosmos. You're being prepared to help guide humanity through its first collective quantum leap. Every person who successfully quantum jumps creates a template in the morphic field that others can follow. Your breakthrough becomes their pathway. Your quantum coherence becomes their possibility reference point. This is how consciousness evolution accelerates. pioneers, create access routes that become highways for those who follow. You're living proof that human consciousness can operate beyond conventional reality limitations while maintaining physical coherence. Every day you exist in quantum awareness, you're broadcasting evidence that extraordinary human potential is not just possible, but natural. The next phase of human evolution won't happen through gradual improvement. It will happen through quantum leaps in consciousness capability. The individuals who master this process first become the bridges between current human limitation and expanded human potential. Share this transmission, not for algorithm engagement, but for species evolution. Every consciousness that receives this information at the optimal moment in their development accelerates the collective quantum jumping learning curve. Your success multiplies exponentially when shared with others who are ready. If your quantum jump key is activated, if you can feel the truth of these words resonating in your cellular memory, if you're ready to consciously participate in reality selection rather than unconsciously accepting whatever reality you happen to observe, then I need to know you're serious about this transformation. Comment one word below: quantum. That single word creates an electromagnetic declaration to the field. You're announcing your intention to operate from quantum consciousness rather than three-dimensional limitation. You're committing to conscious reality selection rather than unconscious reality acceptance. The quantum field registers every conscious declaration as electromagnetic reality. Your word becomes a frequency signature that influences probability collapse around you. This isn't just engagement for my channel. This is quantum activation through intentional declaration. In my next transmission, I'm revealing the specific quantum jumping protocol I use to shift between reality timelines at will. I'm sharing the exact frequency adjustment techniques that allow you to migrate between quantum possibilities without losing coherence or fragmenting your identity. More importantly, I'm explaining what happens when you master quantum jumping completely. When you realize you can access any version of your life that exists in quantum possibility space. When you understand that limitation was always voluntary and can be discontinued at will, everything changes. But this advanced quantum jumping information will only be transmitted to those who demonstrate readiness through conscious engagement. The people who comment "quantum" below will receive the transmission first. They'll be the ones prepared to handle reality migration techniques that could be destabilizing for consciousness that's not properly prepared. Here's what most people don't realize. Information about quantum jumping finds you when you're ready to use it, not when you're curious about it. If you found this message, if these concepts are activating recognition in your system, if you feel quantum possibilities opening in your awareness, then you're ready for practical application. But readiness means more than intellectual understanding. Readiness means willingness to release attachment to current reality limitations, even if they feel familiar and safe. Readiness means accepting responsibility for conscious reality creation rather than blaming circumstances for unsatisfactory experiences. Subscribe to join the Quantum Jumping Network. Comment to activate your reality selection protocol. Share to accelerate collective consciousness evolution. Your quantum jump key is activated. Your desired reality exists right now in quantum possibility space. The only question remaining is, will you use your key to unlock conscious access, or will you let this activation fade while you hesitate? The choice, as always, is yours. But choose from quantum awareness, not from three-dimensional fear. Your unlimited self is waiting in every reality you can imagine. The key to reach any of them is already in your consciousness. Time to quantum jump.